Ladies and gentlemen, cats and dogs, whirling dervishes, welcome to What Happened, the show that is fun, irreverent, and it might be even a little informative today. Welcome to your Week 9 recap, ladies and gentlemen. This show is being brought to you by Kitty the Cat and her meatball sandwich. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your Steelers are all high, no Jekyll, all beast mode. They stand at 6-3 after putting a walloping on those ratbirds from Baltimore last Sunday night when yours truly was in attendance. I don't speak in the third person, but I'll say yours truly occasionally. The number 7 train, you thought it was in Manhattan? No, it's on the Pittsburgh North Shore right now. Big Ben Roethlisberger throws 6 touchdown passes again. That's 12 touchdown passes in 2 games. They beat the Baltimore Ravens 43-23. Now, ladies and gentlemen, your secondary still sucks. They're still giving up a lot of yards. Troy's going to be out this week, but you know what? If they score in the 40s, it's just not going to matter. This team is rolling right now, and I think they're headed for the playoffs. Le'Veon Bell, I say it every week, and I'll say it again this week. The young man has a chance to be the greatest running back in Steelers history. His streak's broken. Congrats to Le'Veon for 8 games in a row, going up over 100 yards from scrimmage. This last week against the Ravens, he only gets 58 yards. But for the season, he has 711 yards rushing, 433 yards receiving, puts him at a stout 1,144 yards from scrimmage. You heard of Jerry Rice? Well, Jerry Rice has heard of Antonio Brown. Last week, he called him the best receiver in the NFL. And I think Jerry Rice knows a little bit about the best receiver because he was the best receiver in NFL history. Going to your picks, last week I correctly predicted that the Steelers would beat the Ravens. This week it's not going to be close. The Jets are 1-8. They're horrible. It doesn't matter if they start Vic or Geno Smith. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are going to score an ice-cold 40 points and beat the Jets 40-17. Lastly, before we wrap up Steelers coverage, James Harrison. He's been enjoying a bit of a career renaissance, getting a lot of publicity. To quote editor and cameraman Jeremy Ponus, if he could just not hit women like he hits the quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, your Minnesota Minute. Let's talk about the Vikings. The Vikings are 4-5 going into Week 10, and I tell you what, that's not a bad record at all, considering what they've lost this season. Adrian Peterson cops a plea, not even going to deal with him. Minnesota wins 29-26 over Washington. You heard it here first. I did predict that the Vikings would win. In the last 2 games, the Vikings have 2 wins. Ladies and gentlemen, that's called a winning streak. Friend of the show, Matt Asiata, 10 carries, 26 yards, but a big 3 touchdowns. Now, Jerick McKinnon is still getting the lion's share of the carries. Actually, there was a show this week on ESPN where he got 4% of the vote for Rookie of the Year. Jerick McKinnon, we want more Matt Asiata on this show. And ladies and gentlemen, it's taken 9 weeks for me to find out how this young man's name is pronounced. It's pronounced Cordero Patterson. Cordero. There is no silent R, making it Cordell. Let's go to my pick for Minnesota this week. Ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota is on a bye. There will be no score this week, no winners or losers. All right, we're going to only have one news story this week, but it is an important news story, so listen up. Ray Rice appeal includes damning testimony for Goodell. Former Baltimore Ravens running back Ray Rice could be reinstated to the NFL any day now, after a 2-day appeal of the league's decision to suspend him indefinitely wrapped up in New York on Thursday. Former U.S. District Judge Barbara S. Jones presided over the hearing, during which the NFL Players Association argued that Rice told league commissioner Roger Goodell during a June disciplinary hearing that he hit his partner, Janae Palmer. During his testimony this week, Ravens general manager Ozzie Newsome echoed Rice's claim, contradicting what the NFL has long maintained, that Goodell didn't know full details of the assault until September, when he suspended Rice indefinitely. Well, the situation gets hairier. It's still a mess. It's becoming more of a mess. That's what happens when everybody lies all the time about everything in this story. We would just like to thank Anthony Gigliano, associate producer of What Happened. Anthony, thanks for going up to New York this week on your own dime and contributing to this story from Midtown Manhattan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to your Pahr rankings, not P-O-W-E-R, P-A-H-R, Pahr, like you're from the north side. Ladies and gentlemen, this week's Power Rankings are brought to you by the Honorable Abdul Hamid, the President of Bangladesh, and he is also the Treasurer of Steelers long snapper Greg Warren's fan club. All right, your Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm putting them at number 5. I know a lot of you may say I'm a homer, but they're hot. They're 6-3. There's only one team in the AFC with a better record, and that's the New England Patriots. Your Steelers are number 5 in the Power Rankings. Let's go across the state. The Philadelphia Eagles, I still have them in the top 5. The Eagles at 6-2, coming in at number 4. Fly, Eagles, fly. Your number three team in this week's Power Rankings, the Denver Broncos. Even though they got shellacked up in New England amidst an early November snowstorm, we got the Broncos at 6-2 here on What Happened Power Rankings. Lastly, entering the Power Rankings for the first time this season, your Arizona Cardinals. Coached by that horrible Bruce Arians, the Indians couldn't wait to run out of town. The Cardinals are standing strong at 7-1 halfway through the season. Lastly, it pains me to do so, but we got to put the New England Patriots at number 1. They shellacked the Broncos. They're 7-2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to your picks from the National Football League. After a horrendous 1-2 start, I am standing at 9-4. Look it up. It's true. Look in the back episodes. All right, this week, this Power Picks are brought to you by this delicious-looking sandwich. Tennessee will go into Baltimore and handle the Ravens 24-20 because basically we need Tennessee to have a win before the Steelers go down there next Monday night, so it's not a trap game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And my second pick of the week, the Denver Broncos are just going to let loose in the black hole. Peyton Manning's going to bring his boys in there and just unload a bloodbath on the perfect Oakland Raiders, who are 0-8 this season. Denver all over Oakland, 55-10. Let's go to our shout-outs. Thanks always to my mentor, Alan Levine, the Talking Machine. Catch his Pittsburgh Sports Line this coming Monday night at Duke's Rib House and Grill, featuring Smokin' Jim Frazier. Thanks to Handsome Jim Auger of Steel Nation magazine. Handsome Jim Auger not only watches every show, but he also moved over for me and let me share his seat when I covered my first MMA fight at Stage AE. Thank you so much, Handsome Jim. You can catch all of his coverage at steelnationmagazine.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good friend of the show, Scott Summers, is not only the best craps dealer in the USA. Ladies, he is also now off the market. Scott Summers getting married to Lauren tomorrow. Congratulations to both of you on your wedding and a lifetime full of happiness. And lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Emily Dean, who was on a poker assignment this weekend. Jeremy Pontus, the man behind the camera. You might have heard his cough. If you did or if you didn't, it's okay. And Jeremy A. Purcell, thanks as always for the intro graphics and theme. Nikolai Stefko, how you doing, buddy? Would like to hear from you. Haven't talked to you in about a week here. Lastly, Greg Grissom, Vice President of the Houston Texans. Mr. Grissom, I'm still waiting for your email, your phone call, your carrier pigeon, your smoke signal. Throw me an airplane with a note on it, a paper airplane. Would like to hear from you, sir. You told me you'd watch my show and leave feedback. All right. Lastly, Anthony Gigliano, you're 0 for 7, buddy. You've been invited to 7 shows, and you've missed all 7. Anthony, may the devil... No. Wait. Anthony, may you be in heaven a half hour before the devil knows you're dead, lad. That's it for Week 9 Power Ratings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Nieder III. We'll see you for Week 10.